Okay.
Hi, and welcome to Live with Connie. Today, my guest star is the fabulous Crystal with I'm trying to remember your channel name. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's Ricola's Crochet Corner.
Yeah, Ricola, like the cough drop.
Yeah, exactly.
Ricola.
Exactly.
Oh, it's like my mind just went blank on me, and and it's like the Ricola part I had, but like it was the other
The
part.
rest of it. Yeah.
And for those that are watching on replay, I want to welcome y'all. And also feel free to answer any of the questions that we ask in today's live. And that's also if we get into questions. You never know. Some lives I do, we do some lives we don't. And let's see, we have Sharon here. And she's looking forward to the interview with fellow Canadian Crystal.
Hi, Sharon.
Also, and how are you doing today, Sharon? And what are you working on? Yeah, I've always been curious what Canada's like.
I think it's probably similar to the States. It's just you guys get a lot more um better food. You got a lot of stuff that we've never even heard of. Um, it's cold for about 6 months out of the year, and then we get a little bit of mix, and then we get like 2 months, 3 months of hot, and then we go back to cold again.
Yeah, especially the food, and I'm from Louisiana, so we have good food here in Louisiana.
Yes, Louisiana, I've heard, has really amazing food. So I'm glad I'm not there because I would probably overeat all of your good food. But I mean, yeah, I've heard it's very good food down there.
Yeah, we love our gumbos, jambalayas, etouffee, boudin. What are some of the other bisques? Um, yeah, we love to eat down here. And let's see, we also have Isla and Gabby here. How are y'all doing today? And what are y'all working on? And Sharon's, she says she's good. She's working on a bod sweater, but I had to frog the back panel. Oh no,
Oh, I hate frogging projects.
me too. And it's even worse than knitting to have to frog.
I don't knit because it takes too long for me to do anything knit, so there's no way I would frog anything if I had to knit it.
And I really need to use lifelines, especially when I do lace work.
Hi, Lisa. Lisa's here.
Hi, Lisa. How are you today? And Shell.
And Shell. Hi, Shell.
How are y'all and what are y'all working on? And I love Shell Crochet. That's so cute. And Cindy's here and Mary. How are y'all ladies doing and what are y'all working on? And
I
Shell
know I
says,
know Shell's working, so she probably won't
yeah.
be on. But thanks for stopping by, Shell.
Yeah, thank you for stopping by and I hope you have a good day at work. And Cindy's listening and lurking.
Because she's probably working on her blanket because they're doing her and Lisa are doing a cowl. It's a best buddy blanket cowl. I don't know if you've heard
Nice.
of it, but it's a blanket pattern that's by Crafty Grandma. I can't remember the name of the actual blanket, but it's actually an easy pattern, so it's not too bad.
And let's see, Gabby is finishing up her cardigan. Nice. And Denine's here.
Hi,
How are you?
Deneen.
And Chris, how are y'all doing and what are y'all working on? And let's see. So I hope y'all all are having an amazing day today. Um, I've kind of been in slow motion today. um, I want to try to get some well, I still need to do my rows on my temperature blanket and then I want to get some crochet done today. And I was hoping to get some tutorials done yesterday, but my nap took over. Um, I don't know, the day before, I didn't take a nap. It was the first day since I've gotten over COVID that I didn't take a nap. But it caught up with me yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I heard it. It just like sucks the life out of you and makes you really tired even after you've recovered. So
Mm,
I've been thankful to so far not have gotten it at all. So I'm very, very thankful. I have not had that in my house yet, and we're very thankful for that.
you're lucky. Like, I mean, until recently, we were doing good, and then unfortunately Frank caught it, then I caught it, and then Frank ended up in the hospital.
Oh wow, is he okay
Yeah,
now?
yeah, he had
Oh,
COVID pneumonia,
oh, okay,
but he's home now. He's been home for over a week now,
okay,
but he still feels the fatigue too.
yeah,
And like one thing he's experienced, like it's kind of like he's kind of had some issues with his vision,
with his
which
vision.
yeah, which now during the daytime it seems to be back to normal. But like if he tries to drive at night, he's having issues with it.
Okay,
So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that to see if that goes back to normal or if he's gonna have to go to the eye doctor.
yeah, definitely.
But I mean, you know, pretty much all the symptoms are gone. The only thing is the lingering fatigue.
Okay,
And
so
I had someone tell me it lasted them for like 4 months.
I have heard that from a few people that it's ongoing and it's just different. They've said different symptoms. It's not like the same thing. It's one day you feel aches and pains and places you didn't know that you would get aches and pains and headaches, and so I don't know. It's very scary. I'm glad I haven't had a touch of it, so I'm very happy about that.
And one thing I had happen to me, which I mean, I'm presuming this was a symptom of COVID, but like my stomach was hurting, and it wasn't like a stomach ache. It was like it hurt to the touch. Like if I would lay down on my stomach, it would hurt. And that was one aspect where I had trouble sleeping.
Oh, okay.
Or like I'd lay down and I would have to go sit back, get back up because it was uncomfortable. But like, that finally went away. But I don't know. And it's like, and most people, that don't happen to. So I don't know. And I even called like the nurse at my doctor's office asking if that was, if that was a symptom of COVID. And she's like, well, we haven't heard of that happening to anyone. So I don't know.
I've been told the worst part is that there's so many different symptoms that it affects everyone differently. So a typical cold can be considered having COVID and not having COVID. Like it's so hard to tell. So I don't know. It probably could have been one of the many, many symptoms.
Mm, let's see. Chris is saying it looks cold where you are, Connie, but beautiful. Love the backdrop. Funny thing is, I am cold right now, so y'all might kind of be seeing me shivering. but um, but yeah, this is my green screen. We have no snow here. It rarely snows in my part of Louisiana. Like recently, it seems to like once every 2 years.
Well, it's
But
not
like,
so bad.
whenever I was a kid, I was in the 7th grade before I saw my first snow.
Really?
I think it had gone like 15, 20 years without snowing.
Wow. See, that is something a Canadian will never be able to tell you.
And it was like a big deal too. It was like my first snow.
Yeah, no, it would be exciting, especially if you've never experienced it.
And then another thing, like in the South, like when we actually get snow, it's like everything shuts down.
I was just gonna say it must shut down your entire city because nobody knows how to deal with it.
And then they try to encourage people to stay off the roads, but some people don't listen. And then some people still have to get on the roads.
Well,
But
some people have to go to work, right? They don't know, they haven't got the option to stay home, so they have to
mhm.
brave the weather and go.
But I remember the first time I experienced snow. Like one of my dad's friends had called and said it was snowing where he was at. Probably, you know, 15 minutes away, 20 minutes maybe, something like that. So my brother decides he's going to go drive to that area to see the snow. And I went with him. And I mean, I was young and I didn't realize how dangerous that really was.
No, yeah, exactly.
But I mean, everything, nothing happened. My brother didn't have any problems. And let's see. Mary says, I'm currently working on a knit ear warmer and crocheting a pair of slippers and springs pineapples on the boardwalk shawl. Nice.
Ooh, that sounds pretty.
It does. I love shawls.
Well, I've seen a lot of people doing pineapple designs in their crochet, and I haven't yet attempted to do it, but it looks beautiful.
And let's see. We also have Warren and Miguel and Vicky and Jamie and Lisa the Grammy.
Yep, Lisa the
I
Grammy.
think that's everybody that joined us. How are y'all doing and what are y'all working on? Let's see. Warren says he's working on a cowl V-stitch pattern. Awesome. And Miguel, I heard you finally made your 500 subscribers.
Oh, that's great.
Ooh, congrats, Miguel. And let's see. Vicky, me and Frank are doing good. Like I said earlier, the fatigue still lingers, but let's see. Miguel says we are reaching 70 degrees in my part of Texas, but bad weather on the way. I'm getting in course, so I can only be listening. Ooh, be careful with the bad weather. Like
Yeah,
like today, our temperature actually averages in the 60s today here.
the 60s.
And Jamie says, I'm walking home from the grocery store right now, so I'm just really listening. And let's see. Mary says, I'll trade you, Connie. I ended up getting about 30 inches on Saturday. Whoa.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And Florida's freezing right now. Like I saw this meme on Facebook where it showed like a freezer and they're like Florida's in there.
Well, do you watch Hannah Cozy Cottage Crochet? She was saying how cold it was in Florida, and I was like, I can't remember what the temperature was, but it wasn't that cold, and I was laughing. But I guess if you're born in a place where it's always hot, and then when it gets lower in temperature, but what's lower for them is still hot for us. She was bundled up, and I was like, I would still be sweating. I thought that was so cool. It's so fun to see how it affects everyone differently. I guess if I was living there, I would be the same thing. I'd feel cool, but I'm looking forward to that temperature she was talking about on the weekend. I was like, I wish it was that warm here.
But one thing I do find, like up north, it's more of a dry cold, and in the
Yes.
south, it's a wet cold.
Yeah, maybe that makes sense. Cause yeah, it's been very dry, bitter cold here, so it has been cold.
So the temperature may not be as low, but with the wetness, it makes it feel a lot colder.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I remember, like when I was stationed in Great Lakes, Illinois, like whenever it warmed back up to like 50 degrees, wearing shorts.
Yep.
But like here, typically 50 degrees, you wouldn't be wearing shorts.
I guess maybe. Yeah.
but like I said, the cold's different.
It is. Yep.
And let's see, where was I? Lisa says she came from Carrie the Elephant. Sweet. And she's working on the Calming Comfort Afghan.
Calming Comfort. I haven't seen that one yet.
And Vicky says, doing okay except for a terrible headache. Ooh, I hope it gets better soon. Still working on my son's Snoopy. Got the head in one ear so far.
Oh, I love Snoopy. I made one for my boss last year for Christmas. It's actually a really fun project. When you're done with it, you're going to be so proud and love it.
And Crystal, the Yawny Chicken and Crazy Cat ladies here. So
Hi, Crystal.
we have one Crystal on panel, another one in the chat. But they spell their names differently.
Yeah.
How are you doing today, Crystal? And what are you working on right now? I think it's a blanket. I think you're still working on your blanket. And let's see. Lisa says except in Michigan, wet cold there. Ooh, brr. She says it's 58 degrees here in Kansas. The Calming Comfort Afghan is by the Crochet Crowd.
I thought I recognized the name. I just haven't. I'm not big on blankets. It takes me forever.
I take forever on blankets. I'm like, one day I'm going to finish my peppermint blanket one day.
I've seen that blanket. That's a labor intensive blanket.
It's like, because like it's not like how you normally crochet a blanket. So I find like it takes longer. At least for me, it takes longer. And then like this week, Allykins does not want me crocheting very much. Oh, yes. Yesterday she was moody. Like I would give her any, and she would start growling and hissing and trying to bite me. She's a mess, her. And between that and my naps, I haven't gotten as much done this week. But eventually I'll finish that blanket. And then I still have that other blanket that I had stored it, that I need to get that one finished too once I finish that, the peppermint one.
Well, I can relate. I have, I think, 4 or 5 blankets all around me that are started but nowhere near done.
And then after that, I'll probably take a break from doing blankets for a while, especially crochet.
Do something more fun.
Especially
something
crochet
that takes
now.
less time. Well, what were you going to do a tutorial? You said something about you were hoping to get tutorials done. What were you going to do them for?
I want to do a tutorial on, it's the first stitch on the blanket that like I'm designing the pattern for.
Okay.
And it's the one, this blanket's on pause right now. I'm waiting to finish the peppermint blanket, and then I'm going to go back to it. But like it's like the first stitch, but like the stitch doesn't have a name. I discovered the stitch from I can't think of her channel name. But it's a channel that she does a lot of like blanket stitches, like textured stitches.
Okay.
And I cannot think of that channel's name offhand. If Cindy with Pups and Crochet was around, she would know. Oh, I can't think of her name. But anyway, I want to do a tutorial on that stitch. And then I want to do a tutorial. This would be a knitting tutorial on how to fix drop stitches.
That's not a bad tutorial, because that happens to me often when I have knit. Not very often, but when I have, I tend to drop a stitch and then I get frustrated, and then the project gets put aside because I just get frustrated because I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how you pick that up so you don't have to like go back and pull all the way back to where you drop that stitch, which is what I guess I figure is what I've been doing, but I don't like doing that.
It's easier in stockinette stitch. With garter stitch, it's a little trickier because you gotta kind of like approach it differently.
Okay.
I think on the purl part, I don't know. I gotta make sure I brush up on it when I do the tutorial to make sure I got it right.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things, like especially garter stitch, I tend to have to like watch the tutorial to and like certain stitches with knitting too. Like if I hadn't done the stitch in a while, it's like, okay, let me pull up a tutorial to refresh my memory what I got to do.
Wait, garter stitch, is that the knit and purl, or is that just the knitting? I
Okay,
always get them mixed up.
when you're knitting flat, garter stitch is when you knit on the front and the back row.
Okay.
Where it's
Okay.
all knit
All
stitches.
knit. Okay.
Stockinette is where you knit on the front of the row and the back is purl.
Okay, so normally what I do then is garter because I usually just knit. I don't like to do the purl stitch very often. I always have a hard time with the purl stitch, so that's why I do a lot of the garter stitch.
Now, if you're knitting in the round, then it changes it up. where
Okay.
where like when you're knitting in the round stockinette, it's just all knit stitches.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I want to do those tutorials, so hopefully sometime this week I get them done.
Well, if you feel up to it.
Because I was meaning to do it yesterday, but my nap won. And I slept like pretty much the whole afternoon. So, and it's like I'm really trying to this year do more tutorials for my channel.
Okay.
And I feel bad because it's like I say I'm going to do it and then it's like I don't get, I haven't gotten any done yet this year and I'm like I need to get them done. I need to get them done.
Well, I don't know. I think tutorials would be harder to film just because it takes so much more precision and the way you have to do it. And I don't know. I've tried to do one tutorial in my entire time on YouTube, and it was brutal to say the least because I didn't know how to hold my hands. It was very, very tedious. So I could see how it would take you some time to get that done.
It is harder. And and one thing is I really would kind of like to try to do it from my phone, but like I don't I don't like I don't think it will connect to my tripod. So I'm trying to figure out a way that I could use the phone. Because I'm hoping the phone would like one issue I have when I do tutorials and it's my camera where I find like when you try to like zoom in and you're more close up, it gets kind of a little like it has like a blur to it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And I'm hoping that if I can find a way to use my camera, my phone camera, that I won't have that issue.
I did see a couple of people posted tutorials on how to film with your phone if you don't have a tripod. I
I'm
can't
gonna have to
remember
look
what
that
they
up.
did, but something like with like toilet not toilet paper, like paper towel rolls and then some other type of thing, and they had it taped to it, and then they had the phone sitting on top of there so that they could film in front of their hands. I don't know how they did it, but there was a tutorial on it. I found it on YouTube a long time ago, and I thought that looks more complicated. I don't know if I could do that.
I'm gonna have to look into that because like I said, that would be easier. And like I do want to replace my camera, but I don't like unfortunately I don't know if a new camera would do
Right,
better
right.
or not.
Well, I just use this if ever I film with my phone, and then you can angle it downwards. But I mean, to try to not knock this over is a challenge. It's very difficult.
Because like on my camera, I'm having a lot like issues with my viewfinder because there's
Okay.
times that like it'll go like completely black on the screen, and then Frank's got to take it apart and basically put the little piece back where it belongs. And like and also whenever I film, I'm noticing that it kind of like the coloring can, it kind of looks distorted some. So I have a feeling my camera's trying to go out on me.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like it might be saying, "Hey, you know what? I don't want to work for you as good as I used to. Time to upgrade."
So I'm like,
Technology.
well, I'm fixing to get my first monetization check.
Okay.
So I'm planning to use. I plan to do a bingo live giveaway, and I also plan to order some more yarn for my blankets.
Okay.
Then on the next check that I get from YouTube, I'm wanting to try to replace my camera.
Okay.
So because like I said, I don't want it to go out on me,
Yeah. No.
because then I will be forced to have to try to film from my camera. And I mean my phone camera, and it's like I don't know. I've never done a video from the phone, so I gotta like learn that.
I actually love you. I use my phone because I love using my phone. I use it for everything. So I love recording with my phone. I find it easier, but I don't have the another camera to use, so I'm forced to use my phone. So I think if you were forced to use your phone, you might like learn it and pick it up really quickly, and you find it probably. I think you'd find it easier, to be honest.
But like it's funny though, like my camera. I bought my camera when I like for when I started my channel.
Right.
So this camera is barely over a year old.
Have you only
Like
been on? I thought you were on longer than that. I feel like you've been around a lot longer than that.
I started, I think it was December 28th or 29th that I did my first
Oh, okay.
video
Okay.
of 2020.
Okay.
Initially, I was planning to start it like the first of the year, but like I got my camera in and I was all excited and I was like, I'm ready to do it now.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard once you get the idea to do it. You want to just jump in there, 2 feet and just go.
but but that's the thing. It's like that my camera's not old, and it's like,
No, that doesn't sound right. That it's not working that great, and you only had it for that long.
and then I'm like, okay, when I get another camera, I hope I don't have any issues.
No, yeah,
But stuff isn't made like it used to be.
no, they don't make anything like they used to. It's because they want you to have to upgrade it and pay more money and
Hmm.
get the newest best thing, right?
Because to me, it's like that camera shouldn't be doing what it's doing.
No, not after a year. It should be way better than that. Mind
But
you, I mean, I upgrade my cell phone every 2 years, and it's almost like the battery starts telling me, okay, I'm not charging like I used to. It's time to upgrade.
yes,
Yeah.
anything that like has a chargeable battery, like when you first get it, that charge seems to last like a few days and stuff. And then the longer you have it, it don't hold the charge as well.
No, it doesn't. Now I have to charge mine every night if I want to have it full battery for the next day. I have to charge it every night.
Hmm.
And I when I first got it, I was going 2 days, sometimes two and a half, 3 days. Now it's every night, or else I don't have a phone to use the next day.
And it's like, and it's like, okay, why can't they design it where that don't happen?
Well, they could, but they don't want to because they want you to spend the money. It's all part of a big scheme.
Yes. It's like everything's a money racket nowadays.
Exactly.
Let's see, we have Maribel that joined us, and Bryn Michelle. And let's see, I think that's it.
Hi,
How are
Mary.
y'all late? How are y'all ladies doing, and what are y'all working on? Crystal says she's good, and she's like, yes, my aunt's blanket. And Vicky says this one is 27 inches tall. Ooh.
Okay.
And let's see.
I have a whatchamacallit. Is that what that's?
Blanket.
I have a whatchamacallit blanket.
Working one in grays. Nice.
Okay. Is that really the name? A whatchamacallit blanket? If it is, I think whoever came up with that name is very clever.
Exactly. Brim Michelle's asking if it was Rich Textures Crochet. No, but I think that's the one that I do have a lot of tutorials bookmarked to that I'll be using on my blanket for too. And I'm still trying to think of that channel's name. And she lives in another country. I can't think of it.
Her name isn't Anna, right? The one who does the store.
No.
I watch a lady with a very thick accent. I was thinking that was who you were talking about.
And see, I know I have stuff bookmarked and I think and saved, but I don't know how far back I'd have to go now. Like for my watch later. Because I would try to check real quick, but I think it'll take me a little while to find it, unfortunately.
Well, we'll just have to wait for your tutorial to come out, and then we'll know what you're talking about.
Or and I do mention her name.
Designer. Yeah,
I do mention her name. Well, see, a while back I had tried to do a tutorial on that stitch, and I can't, like, the beginning part was fine, and I still have that saved. But like whenever I was doing the stitch, I kept going out of camera range, so I have to redo that part of it.
See, that's what I would be afraid of when I'm doing tutorials, is that I would be going out of camera, and then you'd just hear me talking, but you wouldn't actually see what I was trying to do. Because that's what I figure I would be like if I was doing tutorials.
Because even like the tutorials I do have, you'll see me drift over to the side, and usually I'll catch myself before I go out of camera range, and I'll pull myself back in. But I forgot what I was going to say. It was something I was fixing to say. I can't think of it. Oh yeah, I know now. The only thing though that I do worry about a little bit with doing that tutorial is, I hope it's not like any type of copyright infringement, because I kind of think she came up with the stitch. But I know typically...
But you see, that's the thing. There are so many tutorials out on YouTube where people are doing very similar things. I don't think it's copyright if you're not going, well, this is the pattern. Like, as long as you're not like saying this is her pattern or giving the exact stitch counts and things that she maybe uses, I think then you should be fine. But there's so many tutorials, right? Like, I mean, there's so many people that say, this is how you do this stitch. This is how you do this stitch. You can look it up and there's 18 different people doing the stitch, right? So I think you'd be okay.
And the thing is that, like, I know typically when it comes to doing crochet stitches, that's not something copyrighted.
Right.
Where everyone does tutorials on stitches.
Right.
So, and it's like, and I really wanted to try to contact her, but I couldn't find her email on her channel. So hopefully it's not an issue. But I really wouldn't think it should be, because it's typically patterns where you can get into trouble.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think if you were talking specifically about her stitch counts, or you say, you say that this is what she does in her yeah, then I think you could get in trouble. But if you're just showing how to do the stitching, I think that that wouldn't be a big deal at all.
And I mean, and it's like, and I mentioned that, it, her on the on it, and I'll even like put her tutorial in the description box too. But the thing is like she uses uh, like the other terminology for the crochet terms,
Right.
where you know how like they'll call it a triple crochet, but like
Oh
we
yeah, in
call
the
it,
UK they call it yeah. So if you're
yes,
using
UK terms.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. So you'd be using obviously US terms, so it'd be a little different in that case anyway, right?
Yeah, because I would be saying the US terms. Because at first, like, it confused me because like some points she would say what it was with US, and then it was like I had to start like looking it up to make sure. So
Yeah, even Maribel said in the chat that you can own a pattern, but you don't own a stitch. So yeah, I think you'd be fine.
I would think.
And if you even were to link her in your tutorial, then technically you're doing better a favor to her, because then you're getting people to go and check out her
Hmm.
when they don't have to really. So
And the other thing too, at worst that will happen is YouTube will contact you with a copyright infringement, and as long as you take it down, then
yeah,
you're fine.
yeah, you don't want to get thrown into YouTube jail, but yeah, definitely. I mean, I can't see a stitch being a problem. I could see a pattern being a problem, but not a stitch. So I think you'd be okay. And
Because
even
some
at that, you're giving your take on it, right? You're not necessarily saying exactly the way she does it. You're showing how
mhm.
you do it, how you feel it's done. So I don't know. I think everybody has their right to do their take on it, on any kind of stitching. I just think patterns is where it gets tricky.
And that's the thing. It's like you know, with copyright infringement, it is confusing
It is, yeah. But
because
I've
it's
seen a lot of tutorials where one person will put out a hat and it's all in half doubles, and it's like identical to somebody else who's put out the exact same video of the same thing. So I don't know where there's what the line is or how you can differentiate, like, okay, this is the exact same hat I seen on two different channels. But I mean, I guess it's because it's just a basic increase, so nobody owns the copyright to that, right? So I
and
guess.
then like even like sometimes like free patterns, you know, is it can it be considered copyright infringement if you
Yeah,
would
I
do
don't
like
really know.
a video tutorial on a free pattern? Like I totally get it. Like if it's a paid for pattern, because
Yeah,
that's a no because you're giving people a pattern for free basically
yeah,
that they
exactly.
would have to
Yeah,
pay
I think
for.
you're right there. Yeah,
But to me, a free pattern, I would personally think that it should be okay.
you would think so, because it's not like they're charging money. But I guess unless I mean, I think if you're going to do a free pattern, as long as you give credit to the designer and the
Exactly.
designer is fully listed there, where to go and find them, where to go find the written thing on their blog. I mean, but I guess some people might find it like that
Hmm.
you're stealing their stuff. I don't know. I think you have to just basically either touch base, contact them, or if it's just a
Yeah.
stitch, I think you're good. But if it's a pattern, I think you need to contact the designer or something.
And sometimes, it's like, yeah, because sometimes the designers will respond back because I know sometimes if I have a question on a pattern, I've contacted the designers asking. But like some of that stuff, like, and it's like, it's kind of like gray area. And you're like,
Yes.
uh, but anyway. Oh, Jamie made it home.
Oh,
Welcome
good.
home, Jamie. Let's see. Antoinette's here. And she says this Happy Meal headed my way. Ooh, sweet. I can't wait. like a kid in the candy store. But how are you, Antoinette, and what are you working on? And let's see. Yes, that's it. Allison Russell.
Oh, I do follow Allison. I love her blankets. She does a lot of good blankets. I think that's, is it the one she's got an accent, right? Like
Yeah. And she does a lot of like stitches for blankets, like textured stitches. And this is one that she doesn't have a name for the stitch.
Oh, okay.
And I even tried, like, finding out like what this, there was an actual name. But because it's kind of like on some aspects, kind of like a crisscross stitch. But it's not like how a crisscross stitch typically goes.
Right.
But yes, Allison Russell. And Antoinette
Channel is
says,
in a nutshell.
the YouTube channel is in a nutshell. She does tutorials for the HOS blankets. Nice.
HOS blankets. Okay.
What does HOS stand for, Antoinette?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. I'm not sure what that is.
And Maribel says, I've seen tutorials like that. They are out of camera more than on camera.
Yep.
See, because like I'll go back and watch it like when I do them. Now, if I'm like just leaning over, like where it still, still shows what I'm doing, then I'll keep, but if I'm like going like completely out, then that's what happened when I tried filming that last tutorial. And I went out of range bad, but I also tried to set up my camera differently than normal. And even though I kept like looking in the viewfinder, but in between I drifted off too much.
It happens. Like I said, that would be what you would get from me if I did tutorials. So it would be exactly what Maribel was talking about, where I'd be off camera more than on camera. So it wouldn't
Like,
it wouldn't go well. Yeah.
well, actually, it's that way. I tend to go because
Yeah.
it's the opposite with the what what I'm doing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, I was intending to try to message her, Allison Russell, but I didn't see her email on her channel. I don't know. Maybe I overlooked it. I'm gonna try to look again to see if I see it.
But I think you only need to if you were doing like a part of her pattern. If you were like, well, this is how, as long as you don't do that, I think you'd be fine. I think you just need to do your stitch and not worry about it. That would be my honest opinion.
Unless Maribel says, "Yep, people can own a pattern, but not a stitch."
Yeah.
And Antoinette says, when I did the Leisure Orts Afghan crochet along, I contacted Leisure Orts and they gave me permission and to do tutorials. Just mention them.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
And Maribel says, you can say it was inspired by.
Yeah, like I said, it's all positive. You'd be sending people their way anyway, so technically I don't see how that would be a bad thing, even though you're not doing the pattern. And it's just showing like, a stitch.
Like too, like if you do like a pattern that's like certain cartoon characters.
Right.
And it's like, because some of that gets confusing.
Well, see, here's the thing. The ones that post on, I have a problem with that because the ones who put the patterns up on Etsy and it's Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, okay, they don't label it Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse, but you can clearly see what the characters are.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fine line because that's not their design. They didn't design that character. So I feel like those people charging $13 for a pattern, I think that is borderline stealing somebody else's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're not supposed to make money off of it.
That's just my opinion. I mean that's how I feel about it. I mean, everyone can have their own opinion about it, but I do feel like that is kind of a borderline. You're making money off of somebody else's. I know. Oh, I love Minnie and Mickey, so I would love to crochet a Minnie and Mickey, but I don't know that I want to pay $13 to somebody who didn't actually create Minnie or Mickey. But that's just my opinion.
But like if I show something that I made, type thing, usually I don't call it what it is.
Well, I made Snoopy, and I did show, but it was published in a magazine.
Where they probably got
The
permission.
pattern where I got it, it was published in I think it was a Crochet Now magazine. So I did say this is Snoopy, and I showed the book I got it in. So I mean, I think that's a little different because I would assume that magazine would have had to contact somebody and
It's like
get permission.
I'll say stuff like the little green man.
I do get that. That is definitely a way to make sure you're not going to get into any kind of trouble, copyright, or anything else. It's better for you to do that just so you can protect yourself.
Mm-hmm. Because like at first, like because I'm like, okay, can I show something like this on my channel and like, you know, like I said, I never sit there and call it like by that character's name. But and like nothing, like the times that I have shown something like that, nothing has ever come of it. So, and I even asked a lot of content creators,
Yep.
what's the rules on this? And some would say, it's best to get the permission. Then others said as long as like you don't say the name.
Right. Well, I mean, I personally, like, if I crochet, like I said, I crocheted a Snoopy and I said the name of it when I showed it, but I purchased the pattern through a magazine. But you can also buy, like, the Harry Potter books from bookstores with the patterns. So I'm assuming that those books are released by the companies that created those characters. So, I mean, I would assume that we can use the names. We just have to make note of where we got the pattern from and things like that so that you don't get in trouble if somebody else is illegally selling it or things like that. That's on them, not on you. You're doing the right thing. They're not necessarily doing the right thing.
Because I know like I had purchased a pattern off of Etsy for a certain pig. and and eventually I do want to make what you call those blankets, Grafgan.
Right.
And then for a while there, I'm like, can I show this on my channel? Because it resembles, and it's like, and I'm like, you know, but I think I can as long as I don't call it by that name.
I like I said, I've never had any issues with anything I've ever made that was a licensed character. As long I always make reference to where I got the pattern from, though. So if there was an issue, I think they would go after the pattern person rather than me, just because I'm someone who blindly bought the pattern and then made it. So I don't think they'd go after you necessarily unless you were taking credit for coming up with the idea or the character. I think you'd be okay. But that I don't know. You'd have to actually. I think maybe we'd have to contact YouTube to find out specifically where the borderline is there.
But they probably wouldn't even tell you. That's
Probably not.
But yeah, a lot of people are saying, like with free patterns, it's best to ask the designer or a company first.
Right. But sometimes it's hard to get a hold of. I know you said you've contacted and reached out to designers, but I have also reached out to designers. Now, these are paid for patterns, and I have not gotten responses from those designers. So a lot of times I just don't make their pattern because I get stuck and I can't get an answer to the question, and I'm like, okay. But I mean, you're more than 90% of the time you can get a hold of the designer, but there are those oddball times that you can't.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And Antoinette saying sometimes the free patterns are actually pirated and listed on those sites. Yeah, she
Yep.
does have a point with that.
Yep.
Oh, Laura's here. Hi, Laura. How are you doing today? And what are you working on? And if y'all don't have Laura, here's her channel link. She just recently started a channel, and I'm going to be shouting her out in my next shout out video. And she's going to be coming live with me coming up. I don't remember the exact date offhand. I have it written into my calendar though. But yeah, go check her out. And also, I didn't mention this earlier in the live. If y'all don't have Crystal here, go check her out too. And Crystal, can you drop Crystal's link? That sounded funny.
I know, right? That sounds very funny to say. Yeah. I got Laura, by the way. I just got Laura, so.
And I have Crystal's link also. It's in the description box of this video right at the top. And it's also pinned to the top of the chat. But yeah, go grab Crystal up if y'all don't have her. Show her y'all Yorny love and support. Throw that
both
yarn.
Crystals.
Go boom, boom,
boom. Both crystals. Show all the crystals love.
Yeah, go check out Crystal, the Yorny Chicken and Crazy Cat Lady too. She's getting close to 900 subscribers. So let's help get her there. And the next goal is to get her to 1K.
Yes, that's great. I'm surprised you're not already there, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm shocked too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I always shout her out. And
but she's always in other people's lives and everything, so it's everybody knows who Crystal is, so I'm surprised you're not well over the 1,000 mark already.
And for those that have channels, if you could help shout Crystal, the Yorny Chicken Crazy Lady. I messed up that time. Crystal,
Crazy Lady,
Crazy Cat Lady, out to try to help get her to 1K. That would be awesome.
I'll post it in my community chat.
And Antoinette said, Hooked on Sunshine, they have Facebook group with all the Afghans you were talking about for Phoenix, Atlanticus, whatchamacallit.
I love that name.
And Brim Michelle says, doing the whatchamacallit blanket by Hooked on Sunshine. And Zara's here. Hi, Zara. How are you doing today? And what are you working on? And Zara, she answered, working on a gnome amigurumi for Amigurumi Wars for month of February. Awesome.
Amigurumi Wars? What is this? I've never heard of this. Amigurumi Wars. I would have joined in on this wars. I love amigurumi.
That is one thing that I do, like down the road, want to start doing is amigurumis. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I know like I want to make like an alien and like some alien stuff like that. Or
there's a lot of cute patterns for little mini aliens, so there's not like you don't have to get too intensive labor into it.
Let's see, David's here. Hi, David. How are you doing today? And what are you working on? And he's saying no borderline about it. That is stealing. And let's see. Brim Michelle says they can get sued for licensed character by the company if for the use of characters. Yeah,
See,
they
they're
can.
smart though. They're wording it differently on their listing, but the picture is clearly a Mickey Mouse or a Minnie Mouse or whatever it is. There's all kinds of them. There's so many of them. They're just wording it differently so they don't get in trouble. It's kind of a sneaky, shady way to be able to sell it without getting in trouble, I think. But they're still on there. I mean, I would think that Etsy would have to kind of think about that.
Crystal, that's not the one. It was Allison Russell. And it could be like on the about page where you have to click to get the email. Because like
Donna said I can still join. I have to check out YOH. What is YOH channel? Or YOH crochet?
and David says if I understand correctly, most pattern creators don't mind you showing what you create with their patterns as long as you credit them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And normally whenever I'm working on a pattern, I usually always put the link for the pattern in the description box of my videos. That is something because I also figured two other people might be interested in making that pattern too.
Exactly.
Warren says, I'm wondering what is the process of naming a stitch, etc. I really don't know.
You know what? I've seen people do tutorials where they call it, like, for example, what's that stitch? Oh, there's more than one name for it. It's that one where you do a single and a double in the same stitch, and then you skip a stitch and you do a single and double in the next stitch, skip a stitch. Some people call it a rosebud stitch. Some people call it there's like 3 or 4 different names for it. So I honestly think that if you do a stitch, you could honestly name it whatever you want. People who know what that stitch is or have seen it will go, oh, what are they talking about? That's another, whatever the name is of the stitch that they know it as. So I think you could pretty much name it whatever you feel like you could name it. And I think people either like it or don't like it.
Did y'all just hear what Frank said? I hope y'all
Who said?
Frank said a bad word in the background. I hope it didn't come across.
I didn't hear it.
He said he didn't finish it, but if anyone heard it, we apologize. I was just like, no, you didn't say that, Frank. No. But I kind of wonder, like, when it comes to naming a stitch, if like you kind of got to get a patent or something.
I mean, as long as you're not going to sue somebody who might make that same stitch and call it something different, I don't think you'd have to bother with it. I mean, if you're serious about it, then maybe, but if you're just doing it for fun, and I would be like, this is the Connie stitch, just because this is what I feel like naming it, and that's it, right? Like, I think you could do that if you really wanted to, and people would either go with it and call it the Connie stitch, or they would call it whatever they know it as, right? So
let's see. We have I'm trying to remember if it's Dinah or Dina, how you say your name.
I think I always say it wrong. I always say Dina, so it might be the other way.
But how are you doing today and what are you working on? And let me know which way your name is pronounced.
Because I have an aunt that has the same name and we call her Dina. So, not sure.
And I know, like, typically, like, Dinah has an H at the end. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
And let's see. Crystal says YouTube keeps taking away subbies. Yeah, they're good for that.
I think my channel keeps going like this all the time. I don't even care anymore. I'm like, it is what it is. The people that want to be there will be there. The people that don't won't. And that's okay with me. I'm not on here to make a living. I just come on to have fun and to show people what I am and am not working on. I haven't posted a video in a long time because I have 0 finishes to show everybody. I have 8 million whips, just no finishes.
But like I kind of find that like you tend to fluctuate between a few. Like y'all go like that back and forth. But like especially like if you get like a bunch of new subscribers, it's like YouTube really goes crazy.
Yeah, I don't trust YouTube's numbers. It fluctuates. I think they just do it to mess with you.
Mhm. And one thing too, I wish you could actually see like completely everyone that's subscribed to your channel, even like the ones that don't make their subscriptions public.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know why they. Yeah, they. I don't know if there's a way that they could do that or not. I'm not sure.
And like because it would just make things easier, you know, or like for instance, like, when you're doing a giveaway, so there was a way you could search. Like you could pull up like everyone where you didn't have to tell people you have to have your subscriptions public.
See, that's another topic
And
that
search.
could be kind of controversial because I have had people tell me that you cannot tell people that they have to be subscribed to your channel in order to join the giveaway. And then I've had people tell me that it's okay, but I've had people tell me it's not okay. So I don't know what the answer is to that. That's another one where I'm kind of confused about what's actually true and not true.
And most people will say you have to be subscribed.
Yep. Yep,
And
most
like
people will.
I always thought it was up to the content creator how they wanted to do things when it
Yep,
came to
that's what I
that.
thought, but then I was told differently by a couple of other people. Well, I mean, by that I mean I was messaged through email and was given a load of their mind about me asking people to be subscribers in order to win whatever it was I was giving away. So I don't know
But
if they were not subscribed to my channel and they just thought that that was excluding them and they were angry, but that's what I was told.
but the thing is that I don't think that, like to me, I feel like this. If you're giving something away, I feel like you have the right to say you need to be subscribed to my channel. You want something from me, you know?
Give me something that, potentially get some. Yeah, I know. That's why I said it's a fine line. I think, again, that's another, there's a line there and I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's true, not true. I'm confused about a lot of these YouTube rules and what you have to have and what you don't have to have. I have no idea.
And then I know like some people don't like the subscriptions public thing
Right.
where like I heard one content creator tell me that she had someone complain about like how like some will like kind of show your subscriptions more
Right.
when whenever they look to see if you're publicly subscribed. Um, Now whenever I do it, I usually like, I'll pull you up and then I'll do it off camera and find
Right.
where I'm at because I don't want people to have to wait longer for me to find and sometimes, like, especially if someone's subscribed to a lot of channels, it can take a while. And sometimes you overlook it like the first time. And then
Yeah.
you're looking like a couple of more times trying to double check. But but I know like some people don't like showing like the other channels they're subscribed to. But I don't know, I kinda feel like one way around that too, if you're subscribed to something that you don't want people to know you're subscribed to, maybe set up another channel.
True. And then only enter giveaways on the channel that you don't care what they see.
Mhm.
But personally, I don't know what the big deal is because I mean, oh, you're right. Maybe they're subscribing to something I don't know what they
I
might
don't
be
know.
subscribing to. I don't think
Because
I want to know.
I mean, I don't care with mine because it's like I'm either subscribed to Yorny channels or true crime, basically, you know? I'm not subscribed to anything I'm embarrassed for people to see. But but, but that is a solution to that. Just have a separate channel.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Oh, hold a minute. Yeah, even Mary saying, let's help Crystal get to 900. 37 to go.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And David says it takes a while sometimes for the subs to count up. And let's see. Lisa just threw some yarn in your window. I presume it's Ricola, Crystal. And she spelled it with a C, so. And let's see, Madonna's here. Hey, Madonna,
Yep,
how are you doing today? Are you rocking like Madonna? Are you being a material girl? Let's see what some other Madonna songs. Are you getting into the groove? And let's see. Zara says, check out YOH Crochet. She started it. What is it that she had started? Let's see. I know we've talked about so many different things. And let's see. Oh, Tank's here. I'm just realizing that she just joined us. How are you doing today, Tank? And what are you working on? And she says, Jill at Fiber Floozies is doing the how you say it?
Amigurumi cow. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know Jill was hosting it. I'm gonna have to check out Jill's channel then. I've missed a lot of. It seems like I work a lot of evenings and a lot of weekends, so I miss a lot. And then trying to catch up when everybody is posting, it is very difficult to catch up on everybody's video. And now I've started watching it on my TV, so I can't comment, but I'm like watching everybody's videos, and I'm there's too much YouTube in one day for me to catch up. I'm telling you.
And oh, what was I about to say? Oh yeah. For those that don't know, I have a temperature blanket challenge going on. So if you're doing a temperature blanket challenge, if you're doing a temperature blanket this year, all you got to do is take a picture of it when you finish it, and you'll have to have it finished by February 28th of 2023.
2023. Okay, I was like, yeah, okay. Oh man,
And
I
you
don't know
send
if
me,
I want to commit to a big blanket.
you send me a picture of your blanket, and I do plan to do a video with the pictures of the finished blankets, but also I plan to do enter those that complete their blankets and submit the picture, a giveaway where I'll pick one person at random to be the winner of the giveaway. And so keep that in mind. And also today is the last day of the month. So on February 7th, I'm going to do a video where people can submit pictures of their first month's progress on their temperature blankets. And this part isn't a requirement for the giveaway, but I do think it would be nice to see the progress of everyone's blankets. And you could also like send a picture of like the color scheme that you're using too. And I plan to do a little video showing the progress for the first month. Well, that is if I get enough people that send me pictures. But that's my plan to do that. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, David's working on lunch from Taco Bell right now. So what you ordered from them, David? I tend to like their the one with the chipotle sauce. where it's basically like just chicken, cheese, and the chipotle sauce in the wrap.
So Madonna did correct that YOH Crochet is actually the one hosting the Ami Cow.
Okay.
Jill is participating, but YOH Crochet is actually hosting it. Just in case anybody wants to go and check it out, the right information is always good.
Yeah, and another thing I want to do, um, which will probably be sometime later this year, I do want to do a beanie challenge, which I really kind of want to do a knitted one
Okay.
because I kind of want to try to encourage more people to get into crochet. I mean, to get into knitting. Um, but I am kind of on the fence if I'm gonna just do like a challenge for both, like with crochet and knitted beanies together, or if I may do something like at one point do a challenge for knitted ones and then later on maybe do a challenge for crochet ones.
My only thought on that is that if you were to do it together, crochet beanie takes way less time than a knitted beanie for those who, struggle with knitting. I mean, if they're professional at knitting, then they'd be whipping
Mhm.
them out like crazy. But if they're newer, then they're going to be a lot slower at the knitted one than a
So
crochet one.
it's probably better to do it separate.
That would be my thought, is that way people who want to take part in the knitting can do it and then not feel like they're competing with seeing all these hats come out, and then they feel like they're behind.
Another thing I would kind of like to try to do with the challenge is maybe get another content creator involved within it with me too.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So that is another thing. So like, those with channels that do knitting that are content creators, if that's something you would be interested in joining me whenever I do decide to do it, which I have no clue when I'm going to do it yet. Sometime this year. Just let me know, like send me an email or something. And Crystal says she wanted something creative that fits her. So she said, I am the yoni person. I have chickens and love my two cats. Yeah, Tom and Oreo. And Dina loves my backdrop. Thank you. And Crystal saying yarn over hook crochet, I think. And Dina says, I am from Ridgefield, Connecticut, working on a cow at the moment. Nice.
Hey, that's true. You should get with Granny D with the knitted beanie. I think that would be cool.
Possibly, but the only thing with Granny D, well, I don't think this would really matter though, but like Granny D doesn't like finish projects often, but it probably really wouldn't matter because it's more like trying to get like people to join in. You know what I'm
Yeah, she's
saying?
very, very, very popular. So she would have a lot of people that might follow and get involved and get on board, right?
So that could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Okay, Lisa saying YOH, her channel stands for Yarn Over Hook.
I think I already have them, but I'm not sure.
David says there are several stitches with multiple names.
Yep.
Okay, it don't look like anyone heard Frank. Sorry. But the bad thing, like he was starting to say like the worst one. And I'm like, oh Frank. I think like he got aggravated with the phone. I think it was one of the deliveries from Waiter. Probably because it probably was going to like Mamu or Basil. Yeah, Basil. He don't like taking the deliveries that are further out.
Don't blame him.
But the thing is, a lot of times it really don't pay to, because they'll like typically pay the same as the ones that are closer,
Really?
but yet you're using more gas. And
That doesn't seem fair.
it doesn't. Now sometimes like if they can't get someone to take the order, they'll offer more money.
Right.
But so then sometimes it can start, be worth it if they offer enough money, but it's like he don't like the ones in the neighboring towns. And let's see. Isa says her husband did the same thing while passing through her live this morning too. And that's the thing, because I do my best to keep the language, clean. But every now and then something, happens, where, I think I had one time someone said a bad word in the chat. And then one time someone did on my panel. And I was just like, oops.
Oh, you should ask Lisa. I go over to hers and I do it all the time on her channel.
And the thing is that, like, I know some people have young children around when they're watching, and then I don't want anyone to get offended. So, I always do my best to try to keep anyone from getting offended over things.
I
So,
used to be like that, and then you know what? I kind of got tired of trying to appease everybody. And now my channel philosophy is, if you don't like things that happen on my channel, bye-bye. Just because it's so exhausting trying to make everybody happy that it's impossible. You will always find someone who will find something to nitpick about every single time.
I know you can't please everybody, but like the main things I always ask is no politics, nothing controversial, no
Yep.
drama, and watch the language.
Yep. That makes sense.
And like I try, and I really try to keep things positive and uplifting as much as I can.
Yep. Yep. There's always a time and a place.
Hmm. Because I don't like certain topics coming up, like if like things that are controversial, because I've seen this too much on Facebook where people start arguing, and then like they unfriend the other person, and it's just like, no, not worth it.
Nope.
I feel like everyone is entitled to their opinion, and even if you don't agree with their opinion, at least respect the other person's opinion.
Exactly. I may not agree with everybody, but I respect that they are entitled to feel this how they feel about it. As I want them to respect how I feel about it. So, yep. Although I work in customer service, so I have a little less patience, I think, and I think that's what's geared my channel towards not wanting to cater to people so much anymore, because I have been taking a lot at work, and I think I just can't handle it in my home personal life now, that I'm like, I will be me and that is it. I'm done.
Oh, and
And
another
I
thing.
work at Michael's, so it can be very frustrating.
Ooh. But another thing too, I forgot to say this earlier, and always treat everyone with kindness.
Right, exactly.
You know, even if you don't care for somebody, be kind to them. And if you have nothing nice to say, then just don't say nothing at all.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I always
Because
tell people my channel is optional. So if you don't like what you're seeing, then you're free to not watch that channel ever again and move on to a channel that's more suited and geared towards what you're looking for.
and like I
And
said,
that's what I think, right?
don't be mean spirited.
Right, exactly. My husband, oh, I was still reading the same comment, my husband. I thought it was something new.
Okay, so it is Dina.
Oh, Sandy left his right crochet is here.
Let's see. Oh, I need to get caught up on this chat. Oh wow,
I
I'm like
know there's
really
quite a bit of
behind.
chat. I'm like, oh my, we're
Let's
missing.
see. Debbie's here. Sandy.
Yeah.
Joanne Darlin. And let's see. Yeah, I'm backwards. I went to the bottom of the chat, scrolling up back to where I was at. Let's see who else has
And you
joined
got a
us.
super chat
I didn't even see it.
from
Hold up,
Melissa's Crochet.
hold up. I'm about to get there. But also Melissa joined us, and is that everyone?
And then Fish Ranch Home has joined in.
Hi, Fish Ranch, and I'm trying to remember. I think his name is Tyler. Let me
Okay.
know if I'm right. I think it was Tyler. And let's see. Is that everyone that joined us? And if I missed anyone, I'm sorry. But how are y'all doing today? And what are y'all working on? Normally, when I get a super chat, it shows at the top. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, it was just in the chat there. It highlighted it in a blue on my chat anyway,
Oh, I
and it
see it
says
now.
Melissa's
Okay.
Crochet. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Melissa. But normally it like I see it like way at the actual top, and it didn't
Yeah.
do it this time. Let's see. Thank you, Melissa, for the super chat. And let me do my little super chat video. Let me find it. Let's see where. Okay, here it is.
Hi everyone, this is the Biscuit. Thank you for sending Connie a super chat.
And again, Melissa, thank you for the super chat. And you got your biscuit fixed today. Okay, where was I? I'm trying to find my place. Okay, there I am. Yeah, I need to try to wrap things up. Yeah, once I get the chat caught up, then we'll be wrapping things up.
Okay.
Let's see, Madonna says usually the new stitch has to be approved by the Crochet Guild of America first.
You know what I
Interesting.
say? You just go through YouTube and you just go ahead and you make that Connie stitch, and that's it. We don't need it
Mary said,
approved. We'll just call it the Connie stitch, and that'll be it.
yeah, Connie Stitch. Let's see. Mary says I've noticed, her numbers fluctuating a lot too.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Like when I first started my channel, I didn't find my numbers fluctuated that much.
No.
But it's like the larger your channel gets, you notice it like way more.
Yep.
Which, speaking of which, I'm trying to get to 1,400 subscribers, and then the next 1,500. So if anyone's watching that's not subscribed to me, I'd love it if you would subscribe, and if anyone, you know, or if any other channels that are watching, if y'all could like make maybe a community post or mention my channel on one of your videos to help me get to 1,400 and then 1,500, that would be awesome too.
Will do.
Madonna says lots of times we aren't losing subscribers, but YouTube is deleting fake accounts. Yeah, and that's true too. Because usually what they take away, they consider spammers.
Right.
So, yeah, but we don't really know what goes on in YouTube land completely. It would be nice, like, if they would, like send you a message letting you know, like, why they took someone away.
Yeah, instead of just us wondering what they're doing.
Crystal says, yeah, I think they do too. I don't worry about it, honestly. Y'all said I'm surprised she isn't at 1K yet. Just saying why, laughing out loud. And the sad thing is, you probably would be at 1K if everyone didn't lose all the new subscribers from the Christmas in July.
Although I will say I did my when I was looking through some channels and I was wondering why I hadn't seen a video pop up from a certain person. I had been unsubscribed to them and I didn't unsubscribe to them. So I was kind of wondering what happened there. So I don't know if YouTube is doing that again, but I lost at least 3 people that I know of because I was searching for them and I was unsubscribed. So I don't know if that's what's happening on another side. Cuz I haven't seen any of who was it? Debbie the Canadian Crocheter's videos for a while, and I had unsubscribed to her, and I never would have done that, so I was kind of surprised, but I was unsubscribed, so I don't know what happened, how that happened, but I'm thinking that could be part of the problem too.
Yeah, and YouTube does that sometimes, and I know one time, I experienced it at least this one I noticed, um where like I'm subscribed to Kindle Ray, which is a true crime channel, and then
Okay.
all of a sudden I noticed I wasn't. And I'm like, I never unsubscribed to her. She's like my favorite true crime channel.
Yeah, so
But I just, happened to notice, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? I know YouTube is so glitchy.
yeah, that's true.
And David says there are YouTube specific guidelines and rules, but I don't have a link. Yeah, they do have, but one thing too, like some of their rules, they don't always explain, like
They're written in a way that I don't quite understand necessarily what it is that they're telling me.
Because some things, like the way they do it, it's kind of general.
Very vague.
And it's not like it's very, very specific. I guess it's the best way to put it. So, and they also have a lot of rules too. And Antoinette says, that it's not about the numbers, it's about the community and sharing and having fun. It's just my choice, the way I want to run my channel. And that's true too, because it really is about the community. Because I mean, I love talking to everybody. I like making new friends. That's something that I love about having a channel. And like one thing that's like my biggest fear is because the bigger you get, you're going to get to a point where you can't respond to every email or every comment that you get. And
though you say that, but with the numbers you're going to get, like let's say you get to 2,500 even, there's still going to be the majority of your videos where you only get the 200-300 watches. Mm-hmm. So it's those original people that have stuck with you that are the ones that are still going to comment on your videos and want your attention. So it's actually not that hard to keep up with because there's only those specific people that always comment and that will always be your people that are going to follow you. The rest are just subscribers that will occasionally subscribe and look at your channel once in a while, but they're not the ones giving you the views. It's the ones that are always there and have always been there.
But I still worry about because I want to be able to respond back to everybody. But at some point, like for instance, like back in the day, there's no way she can keep up with all every single person that messages her or comments.
No, definitely not. She is that is a super large scale. I don't think I ever see my channel ever even coming
Me
even a
either.
blink of close to that. So I'm not ever gonna have to worry about that.
But I mean, but you never know what can happen. And even like, and you don't even have to be that big to possibly, not be able to keep up with emails. And because I know as it is, like, I do spend a good amount of time like responding to emails and the comments on YouTube. But and it's like, and I like getting to know, those that watch my channel. And I don't know, I just hope it stays that way, where I can talk to everybody.
I think you'll be fine because you're gonna make a conscious like this like choice to do it. I have found that I've been lacking in the last 2-3 months because I have been doing a lot of shifts at work and I've been working the truck as well as doing so I do my normal day shifts and I also have been working at midnight till 7 in the morning and then going home, getting my kids to school and then going to sleep for a bit and then getting up and going back to work. So I've been having a really hard time over the last 3 months and I've lost some subscribers and I know that I have, but it's because I just haven't had the time to commit to my channel. So my channel has struggled a little bit, but I think if you're going to make the effort, I think your channel will be fine. And I think that, you'll do your best and that's all people can expect, right?
Yeah, because I like to talk. but I mean, I just like, talking to everybody. And then too, there's always lives too, where you can interact better with people too.
Yeah, I've started getting into more lives, just going into people's lives and it's just more fun I find than just watching a standard video. But I mean, I still love people's standard videos where they show what they're making and things, but I do like the lives cuz it's just more personal, I think.
The funny thing with me, like I tend to like shorter videos, where like when it comes to lives, like I'll pop in and a lot of times I'll stay about 30 minutes and then I end up leaving. Because it's like I have a harder time, like, sitting there watching like a 2 hour live.
Well, that and you have other things to do too. Like I can't commit 2, 3, 4 hours to doing, things like that. I have other things I have to do. So you just do what you can. And I mean, I'm sure they appreciate whoever, you pop into. I'm sure they appreciate that you're there.
Because sometimes I'll just pop in just to say hi and then it's like, okay, bye.
I do that a lot. I pop in and I say hi to whoever I can, but I have other things I got to do. So I just, I pop in and go, hi, how are you? And then I'm out. And then I got to go.
but I do find like I do better like with shorter videos.
Yeah. But I mean, there are some people that post videos that are about 45 minutes to an hour long. Those ones I have a harder time committing all the way through. And I will be honest, sometimes I only watch a certain amount of it and then I'll comment of what I've seen and I'll say I was here, I tried to watch it, I'm gone.
Because that's
But
like my regular videos. I try to keep them under 20 minutes.
that's a good time though. 20 minutes, 20-25 is a good number. I think it's once you get over that point though that it's like, okay, somebody may not have the time to dedicate to watching your video.
I mean, every now and then I go a few minutes over 20, but it don't happen often. Usually it's between like 10, 15 minutes. And then some are shorter. It
Yeah.
just kind of depends. Let's see. Mary saying on the last video I uploaded, YouTube turned my comments off. I had made sure they were on when I uploaded, and Angela Wright had told her the comments was turned off. Yeah, I think I had that happen to me one time. And like, I don't know, all my settings were set, but I guess it's YouTube did something. Then I had to go back in and like you gotta click somewhere like, see more or something like that. or like more options. And then down there, and somehow that wasn't set properly.
Oh,
So I don't know. YouTube does some crazy stuff.
that is true.
And Madonna says you can always check out the YouTube guidelines. Crystal says, I knew Crystal would know. Crystal always seems to know things. She says technically YouTube giveaway rules state you can have your own set of rules along with their standard set of rules.
That makes sense.
And Lisa says, I think giveaways are a way of saying thank you to their subscribers. It is. And like I said, once I get my first monetization check-in, I'm going to be doing a live bingo giveaway. I haven't done one of those in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't done a giveaway video in a while, so I'm due for one. And it'll probably be coming up this week because I finished some bags. I've got a Cricut machine now, so I've been going Cricut crazy, and I made a few bags, so I think I'm going to give some away.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in the mood for some bingo.
I love bingo, so I'll definitely tune into that. I love bingo. Bingo's fun.
And like I said, and like this year, I do want to do like some challenges on my channel.
Yeah.
Which will have a giveaway with it. So and let's see. Dina says if you go into YouTube, I'm messing up. If you go into your video in the YouTube manage your video section and go into the comments, there is a red mark next to the names on their comments, and if they are subscribed. But if they're
that.
Yeah, I have seen that, but I also thought that if their subscriptions weren't public, that it didn't show. So I'm not sure on that.
I don't know about that.
David says usually you can tell when you see the person's comment in your comment screen. Okay, yeah, he's saying the same thing that she was.
Yeah.
And Brenda Michelle says, I am subscribed to knitting and crochet, pets, drama, and true crime. Yes, true crime and conservative commentary. All what I feel like watching that day. I should start watching pet videos, like subscribing to some pet channels. Okay. And Madonna saying Jill is not hosting the Amical. YOH Crochet is hosting it.
Yep.
And David says, my friend is doing a knit alone, crochet alone, and using my Alicia shawl pattern for the crochet alone. Sweet.
That is a pretty shawl.
And Dina says, I'm hosting a crochet along temperature blanket that you only have to do it one day a week. So much less pressure. I'm hosting it with Rosie and Nacy. Nacy? Who is Nacy, though? What channel?
I know who Rosie, but I'm not sure who Nacy is.
And Dina says, I will so post my blanket. Sounds fun. And that's one thing too, like, you know, like I know like some other channels I think are doing stuff with like temperature blanket. Either crochet, like I think most of them are typically crochet alongs, but you know, even if you're doing it on someone else's channel, you can still join in on mine too. Like mine, it can be knitted, it can be crochet, it can be loom knitted. You know, however you want to do your temperature blanket. And David says, and they should make their hats blue and then donate them to Hat Not Hate. Yeah, that is an idea.
That is a good idea, David.
And let's see. Oh yeah, Melissa, happy birthday. And I was meaning to do, to I'm getting tongue tied. I was meaning to be there for your birthday giveaway, and I ended up forgetting about it. David says Granny D loves to knit. Yeah, I think everybody loves them some Granny D. And David used to live in Vista, South Salem. And Debbie says, I want to do a stitch each day for every week that are knitted. And let's see. Madonna says, Granny D has a lot of whips, but she also has plenty of finished objects, and she is an awesome knitter. You'd be lucky if she collabed with you. See, I thought Granny D, because I know a lot of times Granny D says that she don't finish her projects that often. But yeah, I probably will contact her to ask her if she would be interested whenever I get ready to to do it, because I love me some Granny D.
Sorry, my husband was texting me.
Okay.
He was asking me what time I start work. I was like, I can never remember my shifts.
And Sandy says, you cannot remember everyone's dislike. I try not to let go with any wordy dirds, but every once in a while it's the only way to express things. Okay. Let's see, everyone's saying hello. Sandy says everyone is fine. Octavia is still bragging about the cruise and the fact that she was the only one allowed to go. Ooh, I want to go on a cruise. I always joke with Lisa with coping with yarn, because she'll take these trips to the beach and stuff like that, and I always tell her to pack me in her trunk so I could go with her. Debbie says she's been in customer service for 18 years.
Isn't it great?
And let's see. Melissa says lurking while cooking. What you cooking, Melissa? And let's see. Yeah, I'm going longer than usual today. Let's see. Melissa says the biscuit. Yeah. Everyone always seems to love seeing Frank. And Dina says, I've been posting a lot of videos, so I have not had as much time to watch. I still want to call her Dina for some reason. Jamie says, I'm still here getting cleaned up and ready for the day. Oh, and Debbie says she just sent a new stitch with the Crochet Council.
Really?
Yeah, and this is something too, that whenever you go to subscribe to a channel, you need to watch a channel's whole video, then subscribe, and it's supposed to stick.
Yep.
Because a lot of times, if you just subscribe, I think YouTube tends to take it away.
Oh, that makes sense.
And Lisa says she's been unsubscribed from a channel while watching a live. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, this is another thing. Even when I have the bell check, I don't always get notifications on channels when they upload a video. It's getting like Facebook. You see the same channels over and over. And one thing I do kind of notice, I find that you get notifications more for the channels that you kind of watch the most or you've recently watched. Like if you haven't watched a channel in a while, it seems like it stops giving you the notifications.
Yeah, I can see that because yeah, I see the notifications for the majority of the channels I just watch. And Crystal from Bag O' Day is one that I always seem to get her notifications, so that's good. But
But I do think if you click on the bell, you should get the notifications though, because
should
that's
be.
what they tell you. But I hear that all the time, like, "Oh, I didn't get the notification for your live," and it's like you can't. Unfortunately, you can't rely on YouTube. The best thing to do if you don't want to miss someone's live is maybe like use your phone and set an alarm and label it like so and so's live. Okay, let's see. Isola says, "Yep, true about your base watchers. I don't worry about the joiners. I just want to know that I am not alone. If I get only 3 views, I'm happy. I figure my 3 kids are watching." But one thing, like whenever I do get new people, I always like to try my best to make them feel like they're welcome to my channel because sometimes your new subscribers will get really start watching your channel. You never know. But I like making sure people know that they're welcome, you know. Oh, Laura's got to go, but she's probably already gone. Bye, Laura. Have a good day. Crystal says lives are much more fun and you can interact with everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was one thing whenever I was sick with COVID. It was like I was popping on lives a lot more than usual, like for a while, because it was like I had no energy and I was bored. And like I probably drove some of my friends crazy. But but then I got to like towards the the end of being sick, I kind of got away from popping up on the lives as much. It's like I kind of, went through moods.
Well, I guess when you
But
were sick, you had to kind of feel how you felt and then see if you were up to it and what you could do, right?
but like I said, because a lot of times, like sometimes I'll be like, playing with the phone and I see someone's live and then I'll pop in for a little while and I never know when I'm gonna pop in on people's lives. Crystal says, I like videos that are 5 to 20 minutes. I bookmark videos that are over 30 minutes to watch when I have nothing else to do and have the time to watch them.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
the
like,
ones that are over 20, I add to my queue for later and then
but like
get back.
one thing that I'm curious about, because I know like some people will watch one live and then like when that live's over, they jump over to someone else's live. And they seem to do this like most of the day. I'm like, I always wonder like how people have that much time. Or are they
Yeah.
kind of like, but I know like maybe they're multitasking where like they might be cooking and listening or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have that time that I can do that. I work and then I have kids. I have like things to do around the house. So I don't have the time to dedicate to that.
And then like some lives are like 5 hours and stuff.
Or Lisa and Cindy who do 8-hour lives.
But and then it makes
I
me
have
curious.
watched them at night and gone to bed and
How many
slept and got up and they were still on live.
How many people stay from the start to the finish?
I don't know how many stay through the whole thing, but I have seen a few people, and they were on chatting when I was on, and they're still on chatting when I get back on at like 6 in the morning when I get up. And I'm
But
like, you guys are still on?
I can't go live for that long.
No, definitely not. I think I wouldn't have enough to talk about, and it would be so boring, and people would be like, okay, I don't even know why you're still on live, because you're boring.
Me too. Like I'd run out of stuff to talk about. And then like I would have to like take bathroom breaks.
Yeah, there's just no way I could do an 8-hour, 10-hour live. I just couldn't do it. No.
And then like my legs would probably be so numb afterwards. Jamie says my problem with doing lives, I get to some good conversations. And yes, you do on lives. You never know where the topic's going to take you. Jamie says I'm wanting to keep it down to an hour. Usually like I tend to do an hour and a half. But sometimes like today, for instance, it's gonna probably be about 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go at a certain point at 2:30 because I have to get ready for work. So I won't be able to stay on much longer.
And if you have to go before I finish wrapping things up, just and I'll just finish wrapping it up.
Okay, perfect. I would stay longer if I didn't have to work, but I have to go to work. And I have to go finish getting ready for work.
I don't normally go this long, but I like to try to get the chat caught up before.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'm getting close. I think, yeah. I don't have that many more. And let's see. Dina says, I will send everyone over to your channel to post a picture of their temperature blanket from our crochet along. Oh, thank you. Awesome. Where do they post pictures? Facebook? No, have them email it to me. My email address is justanotherstitch2020@gmail.com. And it's in the description box of all my videos. And it's on my about page too. And Laura Lee's here. Hi, Laura Lee. She says she's sitting here drinking coffee and crocheting a batwing jumper. I need to send you a temperature blanket and 15-foot snowman pictures. 15 foot? Whoa! That's a huge snowman. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it.
I've seen the batwing jumper. That's going to be nice. I wanted to make one, but I don't know.
Laura Lee's saying how Frank is such a good sport. And Laura Lee says, that's true. If someone takes a break, they fall off my feed. Mary says, I wish when you set a reminder for a live, it would show up in your notifications instead of just an email.
Yep.
And Crystal saying, or set the reminder for the live. But I think I've heard that don't always work.
It doesn't, because Lisa and Cindy have gone live a few times, and I haven't gotten a notification. And then I go into YouTube, and then all of a sudden I'll see that they're on. And I'm like, where was the notification? You've gone live. I don't get the notification. Who else? Crystal Bag O'Day went live. I didn't get the notification, but then she posted a video, and I got the notification for the video. So I'm set to notify for all, just because it's easier.
Laura Lee says, I watch you and Petra all the time. When Petra took a break, I lost her off my feed. And, I wonder, like, whenever I was sick and didn't do videos for those 2 weeks, if I kind of dropped off of people's feed too.
Actually, you're right. I haven't seen Petra's videos pop up in my feed lately. I'll have to check and see if I'm still getting her notifications. Is she still doing lives? I don't even know now.
I'm not sure. Okay, Crystal saying she's got to go. I need to fix me something to eat. I am starting to feel sick to my stomach and getting a headache. Well, I hope you feel better, Crystal. See
Yeah.
everyone
Feel better.
later. Hope
Take care.
everyone has a great day. Take care, all. Well, I hope you have a good day, Crystal. Maribel says, I've lost sleep staying up for Lisa and Cindy. And Lisa the Grammy says, but we are playing games with Lisa and Cindy. I laugh myself silly.
Yep.
Maribel says, yes, their lives are so fun you lose track of time. I'm curious what type of games y'all play.
They do one where it's she has this thing and it chooses a random word and then they have to act out what the word is and we have to guess what it is. And sometimes it could be quite funny. Cindy was almost making us all pee ourselves over, I think it was ammonia was the word, and the way she was doing it really made us all laugh, and it was really funny.
Because, like, I know I try to get ideas for like different games that you can play on a live. I said Lisa saying I think Petra's on a break.
Oh, okay,
And
maybe
Maribel
that's why.
saying she's not doing regular lives at the moment. She did go live on Sunday.
Yeah, I was working when she went live.
And Lisa says the game is called
Yeah.
Gestures. It's playing charades.
Yeah. It's funny. It is funny.
Because I know, like, sometimes I would like, different ideas for games instead of just like, oh, pick a number or type a keyword, a keyword.
Could do trivia. Different types of trivia. One day do about crochet or about knitting. Another day do one about, I don't
The
know,
only bad,
foods or something.
like, the only bad thing, like, when it comes to trivia, especially if you're doing it for prizes, it's the fact that you can
Oh, I
Google.
wouldn't do it for prizes. I would just do it
Yeah,
for something to do on your
generally,
channel.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to like if you're doing like giveaways and stuff, like trivia, you can Google.
Yeah, that's right.
But I don't know. It's like I try to think of like stuff, but I never really can come up with anything new when it comes to games per se. And like I mean, I did do like the Wheel of Fortune style
Oh,
with the
that'd be fun.
puzzles. But the only thing is, like, typically, like, I'll do it like to give away patterns because, like, I always feel bad, like, if someone guesses this, like, back to kind of like close together. And then I'm usually like, okay, I'll let you have I'll let you have a pattern too.
Which is kind
but
of nice.
but I do, or like, because I always do kind of worry, like, when it comes to like, especially giving like a big prize away or something, because there are some areas where I feel like problems could come up. So like usually I'll do it with patterns. That way it's like if there's anything questionable, okay, you can have a pattern.
Yeah. Yeah. Then it's not like, yeah, it's more fair that way. It's not a physical prize, so it's a little easier.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, I do still have my pattern giveaway going on for the knitted Christmas tree plaid beanie. And Mary says Natalie plays a few games on her lives. One of my favorite is a game called I Wish I Didn't Know. Y'all got me curious about that. I don't know how that game's played.
Yeah, I've never seen that one, so I don't know.
Let's see. Okay, it looks like I'm caught up in the chat. So is there anything you would like to say, Crystal?
No, I don't really have anything else to say other than I want to thank you for having me on your channel. Thank you for inviting me. That was awesome. I was shocked when I got your email. So I thank you for inviting me to come and chat with you. I was excited to get your email about it. I was like, that's really
Sweet.
cool. Because I know you have like guests on your channel all the time. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then when you asked me, I was kind of shocked. I was like, oh, okay. I would love to.
And really, anyone basically is welcome to come live with me. Even if I don't send you an actual email asking you, if you email me and let me know you want to come live, I'll let you know what dates I have available. So
That
if
sounds great.
anyone,
No, that was awesome. I was so shocked when I got the email. I was thank you for having me though. It was a lot of fun. I was glad to talk to you and get to know you a little bit better.
thank you for coming live with me. And that's one thing, like, I do try to think of channels that I haven't invited yet. Where I like trying to get, like, people I haven't had on before. But yeah, if anyone is interested in coming live with me, just let me know. Send me an email. And let's see. Trying to think if there's anything I want to mention before.
Just
I think
Jamaica long.
I think I mentioned most things throughout the live.
Well, you put everything in your description box, right?
Yeah. But I for some reason I feel like I'm forgetting oh, I know what I'm forgetting to tell everyone. Tomorrow I will be live over on Crystal the Yorny Chicken and Crazy. Hold on, I'm messing up her name. Crystal the Yorny Chicken and Crazy Cat Lady's channel. I think we're going live at 12 noon unless she pushes it back some. I know normally noon is her time to go live on Tuesdays. But yeah, I'll be over on her channel. So make sure y'all come join us.
I will be there. I will check it out. I'll be
Awesome.
home tomorrow at noon.
Awesome. And like I said, she may push it back some, but she usually makes a post well, actually it should be showing the schedule. She already has it scheduled. So the time should be on there, but it should be 12 noon.
Okay.
So anyway, I hope everyone has a fabulous Yorny day. Be the light and bye.
Bye.